Lee Howell, what's going on, brother?
Hey, how are you guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah. Good to go.
Nice. It's always risky at the beginning. You're like, is this gonna work? Like, is my microphone gonna work? And I haven't been on like a meeting since I quit corporate America, which is just kind of funny. I have like my light back going on. So it's interesting. How you guys doing today?
Doing good, man. We're excited to talk to you. Like we said, we have some lore ourselves with Lens. It's something we've seen for a while now since it launched. But like I said, I haven't tried it out personally because of the whole download thing, and that's maybe something we're going to get into. But
Yeah.
Anthony, I would love to get to know you a little bit better. Maybe you said you have a corporate America background. Kind of give us an idea of your background and maybe like a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Before we start, do I tweet this link or does this go like live later? Do you guys like?
So we're live right now. You could
So
quote tweet
here
that
I
if you
can
want to.
give you a link to retweet actually. That's a
Okay.
great. Thank you for that.
I
That
don't have to, but
no.
that'd be something good.
We want it. Like obviously your community. We want your community to see this. This is as much as it is for MCG, it's also for yourself as well. So yeah, if you just click that, that's the actual show link. Don't tweet out the guest link, or else we'll have a waiting room full of people, which
Can I
has
just
happened.
retweet? Can I just retweet the MCG? Just
Yeah.
8 minutes
That's
ago.
exactly it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm reposting this. Let me just repost this on a couple accounts,
Go for it.
and then I'm gonna give you guys background and stuff. I just want to just get this done before I start sharing my screen.
For sure, you're good. You're good.
But yeah, I can do both at the same time. So like background, like I
You know
went
what,
to.
Anthony? If you
Yeah,
if
go
you
ahead.
want to tweet it first, we can let give your people a couple minutes to file in so they can hear this too.
Yeah, no rush, man. This is a live show. We got you for an hour here. Is your time. So you do what you need to do.
Yeah, but like, can people watch this like it's recorded, right? So they can watch it in the past.
For
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna just start talking then because it's all good. I retweeted this on enough things.
Okay.
I think we should be solid now. But yeah, background. I mean, I'm from Chicago originally. I went to college. I studied finance and computer science at IU. I don't know if you got any Big Ten fans in the house. But then I went into music. Actually, both my parents are Juilliard School musicians. And like I toured the world for like in my 20s under the alias Sound Remedy. I actually just played a show this weekend with Adventure Club, which was fabulous. I mean, I've been retired for a while, but like just I've been retired for 7 years, but it was nice to kind of just DJ again.
Are you like
But
crypto retired, like from discovering crypto, or just because you crushed it in some other way?
no, I'm not. I'm retired from music just because like touring's crazy.
Oh,
Like the
for
wife and
music.
I
Yeah.
just had a baby. I'm not crypto retired. No, I'm crypto locked in. I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah. All right. Fair.
Yeah, I'm 100% committed to crypto. But yeah, just continuing on. Like after I retired from music, I went into technology. I started developing apps on the App Store. And this like programming language called Swift. So I did a little bit of that. Then I got hired on as basically a React Native mobile developer to my friend's company called Avant Stay, which is this vacation rental property, like tech enabled property management company. So that was interesting. I worked there for a couple of years, which was great, like developing mobile stuff and then also becoming an engineering manager. And then most recently, I worked in the biggest solar company in the US. They're not public, actually. Their name's Freedom, but they're like the biggest installer of solar in the whole United States, right up there with Sunrun. So I was doing product work, which I like a lot. Product, you basically tell the engineers what to do. It's like the more business kind of tech role. And then, yeah, like in the middle of it, I went on paternity leave. My friend is kind of texting me about crypto. Full transparency, like I wasn't always a big fan of crypto. Like I kind of like I heard about it a little bit, but like the Bitcoin mining stuff, like it just takes so much energy. I was like a little off put by that, but I love Bitcoin. Just for anyone watching the show, I've kind of flipped on that. I think that actually the energy and resources it consumes from the earth are justified for what the value it gives, and that's also part of the value prop. But yeah, like my friend was like, yeah, check out crypto, and this is like August 2024, so this is when everything is just absolutely screaming. And he sends me a couple of coins. I put in a couple of bucks, and the next thing I know, I'm up thousands of dollars. I'm like, what is going on here? So yeah, I quit my job and I was like, I
That's
need
how
to
they
find
get you.
out what's going on. Yeah. It was such an interesting time to enter the market, like end of 2024 and beginning of 2025, and then to see now things have changed, a little bit, but there's been new positives. I see people get negative on the timeline sometimes. I think there's a lot of new positives, a lot of great catalysts we have, but it's nowhere near the frothiness of when I quit my job and decided to become an entrant on Solana. But yeah, that's it. That's my personal background.
And how does this kind of relate to what you're doing now with Lens?
Yeah, so Lens basically was born out of just like a something annoying that happened to me. Like all we do when we create a product is we solve problems, right? Like we're
Right.
just solving user problem. I mean, it was crazy just managing like all these Chrome profiles and just having all these tabs open and these windows. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like when you trade Solana, like you have to be fast and you have to have a bunch of data at your disposal. And there was just no adequate way to do that. So I built Lens because it started out as just simply, wanting to view a bunch of websites at the same time in a beautiful environment. And I can screen share and show you guys
Yeah.
everything Lens can do because it has come so far. But that's kind of where I started. It's morphed into a bunch of stuff. I mean, we built a wallet into it, and now it's become this powerful, robust, safe way that we can interact with the blockchain, which I do believe, and I'm not just trying to be a hype man here. I think like building a wallet into the browser and not using Chrome extensions is going to be the future of Web3. You guys are never going to have to deal with these somewhat sketchy Chrome extensions that I think are unsafe in many ways. I'm not saying they're completely unsafe. I don't want to just bash people who made them, but I can go very technical if you guys want as well on reasons why. But I think in the future Web3, crypto is going to be so ingrained in our lives that the wallet is going to be built into a lot of applications, not just the web browser. But as I'll show you if you want to go into the product demo, whatever, you guys can lead. But because it's built in, it just gives you so much richer functionality and safer functionality. And that's the most important thing. Usually,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I want to touch on that, Anthony, because I want to keep it high level, not too technical, but like give us an idea why it's important to have this built-in wallet extension or wallet rather than a Chrome extension.
Okay, cool. So, like, first of all, let's get this out of the way. Like, there's been a lot of Chrome extension hacks. All right. Like, we just saw the thing with the cancer patient, which was just so devastating. And high level, browser storage is where the private keys are stored. That's like unavoidable if you have a Chrome extension, right? Like that, and especially something that's not custodial, which many MetaMask, Phantom, whatever, they're not custodial offerings. So the user controls the keys. You guys probably know that. Like it's not like synced up to Phantom servers. Like these are your keys, but it's the location of the private key storage. And I guess we can keep it as simple as that. Browser storage is very connected to the browser. It's literally called browser storage. And when it comes to attack surface, we've seen multiple hackers be able to hack into browser storage. So this guy who downloaded a Steam game, somehow that application got access to read the browser storage. Now, I'm not even as technical to know all the methods that were used. I think there was some memory dumping. There was like some crazy, like these people did a really good post on it about the malware. But okay, so that's where those private keys are stored. Lens stores the keys in the operating system level keychain. Now, this is leaves and bounds. Again, this is all my opinion. So feel free, just anyone watching this, this is the opinion of one man, but this is operating system, level storage for this operating system keychain on a Macintosh, modern Macs. That's protected by a T2 chip. That's protected by literal hardware. So like, it's just in terms of the location the private keys are stored, I trust Google, don't get me wrong, but it's clear they have a track record of browser storage being compromised through Phantom Wallet and through not Phantom Wallet, sorry, through some Phantom users, but through any Chrome extension. And I love Phantom, by the way. I don't want to bash them because they have an amazing product, but I just don't think like if you talk to the highest security analysts in the world, they're gonna say, oh yeah, browser storage and operating system keychain, like those are the same levels. No, the operating system keychain is where the literal operating system of a computer goes to store the absolute most safe credentials. So yeah, I think that's one reason. There's so many. I could go on for hours, so I won't bore you. But like, let's just look at the attack surface of where the private keys are stored. I think that's a good place to start.
I think that's a great explanation. And to clarify for the people listening, Lens is not just for wallet functionality. You guys have this whole system in place for speed of browsing, getting all this information in one place. Maybe again, high level, like what does Lens do in your words?
Yeah, so Lens is basically a bridge between three things. It's a bridge between the artificial intelligence for one, the blockchain, and just the entire internet. So it's just a bridge. Like that's what I think about it. It's technically a web browser, but basically it connects the blockchain. We're Solana, fans, so it connects only Solana. We can build it to connect to other things. It connects that to all websites, and then there's also the AI element. We use Anthropic. We just built our own agent, and there's many artificial intelligence functions in Lens. But all you can think of it is it's just a browser that's a bridge between these two other gigantic domains, that is artificial intelligence and the blockchain.
Got you. Yeah, let's boot it up. Let's see it in action.
Okay, let me share.
Before we get a screen share real quick, can I ask one quick question? Because I've been around crypto for a very long time, and one of the first ICOs I ever invested in was the Brave browser. And I'm just curious, like Brave has a fairly large download, a lot of users, but how do you compare to something like Brave for those that might have Brave on their phone or their laptop?
We're compared a lot to Brave, and fun fact, our technology stack uses Electron, which Brave actually started with. So like they started using the same tech stack that we did, but we don't have plans to leave Electron, because Electron affords us the ability to do a bunch of cool things. But I think Brave, there's somewhat similar products in the sense that they are both web browsers. Like you type in a URL, you can view it, but like I view us as more of a novel bridge, and Brave isn't using the same technology we are to kind of interact and connect the blockchain and websites. So like I think once you see what the product demo, when you view it, you can actually see kind of what I'm talking about. But I think they're more traditional. I think Brave is an awesome product. I think they have a great company, and I admire those guys a lot. But I think we're trying to be more on kind of the bleeding edge of connectivity and redefine some of these norms. Like for instance, they have Chrome extensions. They use the same technology. Chrome extensions is basically one big thing, right? So because their browser's written in C, on C++, they can, and they basically forked Chromium. They can use Chrome extensions. I don't think we're ever going to bring Chrome extensions on, which is disappointing to some users, I'm sure. So I just think we're like more on the cutting edge than Brave, but at the same time, I think Brave is just a workhorse, completely stable, and they also have tons of cool things, and we have tons.
And their lore from their founder goes back to the founding of the internet with Netscape and whatnot. So.
Oh, really? Are they connected somehow?
Well, yeah, the guy who started Brave, he created JavaScript.
No way.
You didn't know Brandon Ike's story?
I didn't know that.
What? Oh my
That's
goodness.
nuts.
Wait, he's the founder. He's one of the starters of JavaScript. You sure?
Brandon Ike. Yeah, Brandon Ike. I think is his name. Brandon Ike. Wow, you guys really don't Brave.
That's even more legendary.
It's on the web.
That's awesome. I had no idea.
Yeah. Brandon Ike, co-founder, CEO, Brave Software. So he did basic attention token. This is this is 2016, 2017, the first real ICO people would have looked at. Obviously, I was a crypto degen back then as well, but Brandon Ike.
Oh my God, I'm researching this right now on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
This guy is, Lens is written in TypeScript, so it's written in JavaScript. That's amazing.
Netscape. I'm just he created Mozilla. Wow, you guys didn't know Mozilla was created by the same guy that created Brave browser?
I think I knew Mozilla had ties, but I didn't know that this guy was connected to Brave at all.
Yeah. Anyways,
that's amazing. That's that. You can't get any more legendary than that. JavaScript, I think, will be pretty much the only programming language that exists in the next 10 years. Like everything will just be written in JavaScript. So that's crazy.
Java, maybe. It was named JavaScript in December. Yeah. Okay. So it's the same thing. But prolific. I mean, this guy is a pioneer of the internet at its most foundational level.
Do you guys think Brave will eventually be like the browser over Chrome?
As someone who's been a part of this investment thesis for years, not really, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I think it's used for ad blocking, and I think it's used for certain other things that people trust it for. But beyond that, like, yeah, I don't know. There's something just with Google Suite products that it's so entrenched into everything you do that people normies just trust it, right?
I totally agree.
You know, Brave has its audience for sure, and it will grow, but I don't think it'll ever surpass Chrome. Like, I don't think you can do that, right?
I
So-
agree. I thought you were gonna take that a different direction though, just because you were talking so highly of Brave. I'm like, oh, he's gonna.
Oh no,
champion it.
I love what they're doing, but they failed to. So back to what their model was around BAT, which is the basic attention token. They wanted to show ads in the browser and then pay users in BAT. So you basically you were able to like get rewarded for your time. Novel idea at the time. The problem was there was a bunch of legal problems with the ICO, and I think they never got sued explicitly by the SEC, but I think that was lingering in the background.
Different
And then
times.
number two, the Ethereum ERC20 tokens that they had, just you couldn't really transfer them to anyone. Like, let's say you wanted to give every wallet $1 of BAT tokens, like the gas fees on that alone made it prohibitive. So it never really worked in the way that I think they first envisioned it would work. Part of it is regulatory, but part of it is just the way, you know, the Ethereum blockchain worked back then. So now going forward, I think what we've seen is like the app stores are enabling some of this, you know, maybe Google and Apple kind of get comfortable with this kind of tokens in the browser, and they're competing with in-app purchase. So maybe we see these walls kind of come down to enable some of this, but yeah, I think it's this idea has been cooking for 6 years, and I haven't seen everyone switch to Brave completely, let's say.
I think what you're saying, so you have a lot of history. You've been in crypto for how many years?
A decade.
A decade. Oh, nice. Okay. I've got like a year under my belt, so I'm definitely with some seasoned vets here.
Guys, I met Solana before they had a test net, before Sol
So
existed.
funny.
So yeah.
Did you get in early on Solana or no?
Yeah, I did. And I was Ethereum, like I'm from Toronto, and Ethereum had a bunch of meetups here, and like ETH was trading at like $5 to $10. And I remember when ETH corrected from like $12 to $10, everyone's like, oh, it's over, guys. We're screwed. This is like a 40% drawdown. Like, we're done.
And times have changed for the best. Like, isn't it crazy how big timing is in crypto? I guess that's just business though, right? Like if Brave launched today randomly under this regulatory environment, I think, things are a lot different. If Lens launched during the AI craze at the end of 2024, okay, things might be a little different as well. I mean, there's always the coulda, woulda, shoulda, but I do think that like the environment that we're in with what we're seeing, and I think this is where like a lot of people need to wake up, is at least in the US, tangibly, we are getting this extreme ease of regulations. And I don't think people like fully digested that news. I think people saw it and they're like, whatever. They were like down on a meme coin that day, or like their portfolio took a hit. Like they don't realize like the momentum that has started, is going to continue. And as more and more businesses come on chain, like I think maybe we're not going to have as many, meme coins be as big. And I love meme coins. I think that's a great way to have people build communities. But when you talk about businesses being connected to the chain, I think that like enters a whole new realm of like capital markets and just expansion and just ideas and growing. And there's nothing more frictionless than crypto, right? So like if you have an idea and you create something, like the feedback loop is like what, like
absolutely
seconds?
Yeah. I mean, we built this show off this narrative for the last kind of 6 months, but I mean, the foundational thing here is people care about liquidity and users. And so on both those ends, we have green lights, right? And so, we've talked at length on here, and actually a lot of the narratives around tokenized equity have been discussed on the show, even with people from Solana Foundation. And these are conversations we've held around the concept of ICM. And yeah, those, VC funds might have token deals rather than paper equity deals for certain reasons, but the laws have to be in place so that, Mr. whatever at startup doesn't just kind of like issue a token, then forget about it. Right.
Yeah, we're kind of like, here's the one piece that's not there yet. And you guys know, if you've been in this for 10 years, the one piece that isn't there yet is, how do you connect the actual token to a share or a piece of equity? But like, I'm seeing some crazy stuff where they actually are creating bridges between traditional equities and tokens. So if that is actually happening, and I'm very skeptical, so forgive me, I don't think it is yet. I think it's just some fluff. But like, at least if it's getting closer to a point where we are actually tokenizing physical shares of companies, then the inevitable is next, which is, something that I want to do, which everyone wants to do, is say, hey, like, this token represents a share of my business. I can't do that. I won't cross that bridge. Like, it's too illegal. I'll push some legal boundaries, but like, we're just not there yet, I think.
No.
You
Yeah.
always want to hear a founder that's willing to push some legal boundaries there, you know?
Yeah.
No, but
look
we're
at
getting
Paul
there.
Atkins. Like the NASDAQ are doing this themselves. Like Paul Atkins says, or whatever Paul, the SEC chair, we want it all on chain. Galaxy has tokenized their shares. They're like Class A common stock from the NASDAQ now tokenized.
So it's
stuff
real.
like X stocks for Tesla and stuff. I don't know if those are how legit those are, but
that's a weird loophole I think Robinhood's doing there, where they're taking maybe private shares that people have divvied to them or that they've bought, and they're putting those on chain as like, paper IOUs. I don't think there's anything backing those like a standard.
Like Wintermute's disputed even some of that, and I think Sam Altman's disputed some of that, which is wild. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, if Anthropic was trading, that's what I wanted to buy. SBF he tweeted GM yesterday. I mean, he bought Anthropic. That's part of the reason that people like the guy actually made some good investments. Like,
dude,
SBF was a disaster, but like, I mean, Anthropic, he invested like $250 million or something, 250. But
yeah,
like,
I'm pretty sure that made all the people whole. Like, was that investment? So
and the accumulation of value from crypto itself.
Yeah.
But
sorry, not to derail the conversation.
We're going on forever.
Yeah.
You guys want to see Lens? Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Let's talk about Lens.
Good. I like this conversation because, like, look, it's an exciting time. Let's just say that.
Yeah, doors are opening. We had Bob on the other day talking about tokenized equity. It's fully happening. Experimentation is happening, which is what's important. So, but let's see Lens, Anthony.
Okay, I'm gonna share my entire screen, which is risky, but we're gonna do it anyway and just hope. Okay.
Actually, we make it mandatory that you have to start sharing your browser history first.
Can you guys see my screen?
We'll pop it up now if you're good.
There you go.
All right.
Oh yeah, we're good. Okay. All right, so we're inside Lens. And like right now, I think we can just show the beginning of, what makes it different. So we're on everyone's favorite website, pump.fun. And I think this is where you kind of get to, okay, why is Lens different than a Brave? Why is Lens actually different than anything? And you guys, since you have 10 years in crypto, tell me if you've ever seen something like this, because I haven't, right? So like, without logging in, I just bought a coin with my predefined amount, 0.1 SOL in less than a second. Lens is the fastest thing you'll get. And usually when you think about safety, I talked about how Lens is safe. I didn't really give you the whole spiel. I would like to have an hour sometime if Lens keeps growing where I can just tell all the reasons it's safe. But we're not logged in, right? Like, we didn't create it. We're not logged into this website. So let's talk about privacy for a second. Like, you saw in less than 1 second, we were able to purchase. And this is faster than anything that uses the cloud function intermediary, because Lens is actually interacting with the blockchain directly from the client. So we use Helios. Shout out to them. We're not affiliated with them. We're just paying for their services. So, I don't want to say we're affiliated with them because we're not. Helios is fantastic. They have great reliability for their RPC. But in less than 1 second, you can buy something. The browser, Pump Fund never knew we're here. Now, let me just, since I know people watch this, let me just talk about one thing about safety, which is like when you log into a website, any website, they know you're there, okay? And then when you go ahead and you click all these random buttons, you can't even log in with website here in Lens because we don't allow Chrome extensions, but you can trade on Pump Fund. That was a small aside. Like, you can log in with traditional email and password. You can trade on Pump Fund, so don't worry. You can still trade on Pump Fund without Chrome extensions. But my point is, anytime you're logging in and you're submitting trades on a website. So let's think about what's happening. The website, when you click those buttons, it sends a message, an HTTP request to a server. That server is also owned by the same company, assuming they're hosting the website or whatever. And then they have access to what you're about to do. So if I buy something, they see that before my transaction actually goes through this crazy ping pong of like approving, which we don't have in Lens, because again, the wallet's built in. But when the server can see that, so they could, I'm not saying Pump Fund would ever do this, but any server that you're executing trades through could front run your trades. And like, that's a huge thing with Lens and privacy. Like, Pump Fund doesn't know we're here. They're one of the biggest actors in crypto. Elon doesn't have time to try and front run a couple trades, I'm sure. But like any website where you're going in, you're connecting your wallet, all that is being monitored first from the server. Before that signal ever gets to the Chrome extension, first they see you pressing a button on the website, which the server gets. So in Lens, it's completely different. Like this is something called the HUD, and it's going to be, we're going to add more functionality here, but it basically takes the URL, it takes the contract address, and then it puts this nice little HUD, and you have these actions that you can do immediately, assuming a contract address is in the URL. So this is the first thing I think Lens is kind of different at, which is like you have a way to interact with a blockchain that is very secure and that also basically is extremely fast. And usually when someone says, hey, this is more safe, it means, oh, it might be slower. You might be making some compromises other places, but you're actually not making compromises. It's not only safer, it's also faster. So this I will extend kind of to some other things. So like, let's go on X.
Can you go back there real quick?
Let's go back. Let's go back.
I think this is fundamentally critical. And you have two screens I see up here. So one is a token where you own the tokens. I can see it in your Lens wallet. It says sell all. So this is actually recognizing the wallet that is the seed phrase you said is stored at the operating system level, but the wallet is within Lens. It has tokens in it. Before you even connect your wallet to anything, it already recognizes that there's a contract address in the screen that you're referencing here. And it's saying, hey, you have this tokens in your wallet, sell it right now or buy it right now. Basically, that's what's happening, right?
And how cool is that?
That's incredible. I like this. This is amazing. So then on the right side, you don't have this vision token, and it's just allowing you to either buy, which I think is like a custom.
You can buy
custom amount.
And then I can select any wallet. I'm going to select Helios as my default wallet. And then you just can buy in a traditional way. Cool. It's way different. And look how fast it is.
Bro,
and then all of a sudden you see it. So I want people to understand. I'm so grateful you guys came, have me on the show so people can start seeing it. But I've been trying to get Toli's attention. I give up. They support and interact with some interesting projects. I have tons of respect for those guys because they built something that is basically the Solana blockchain, something I extremely believe in. But I don't know. I just feel like this is different, right? Isn't this kind of different?
Quick question, because you talk about Toli, and I saw a comment here. Where was it? Arthur asks, is Lens Wallet coming to App Store? Have you talked? I'm actually going to change that question. Have you talked to Solana Seeker to try to get Lens on the Seeker? Is that a possibility?
So I can ship there. I can basically roll up my sleeves and write an application in Kotlin, and I can ship on their browser. And I probably should do that, but I was worried about how many people are actually using the Seeker. I'm being perfectly candid with you guys. It is a possibility. I could write a custom browser in Kotlin again, which is the language that Android uses. It's officially supported by Google. But I was just do I want to spend 2-3 weeks on this? Is it going to be a good use of my time? I mean, there's so much stuff in Lens that I need to do that I'm curious about, but do you guys think the Seeker's a viable thing to launch on?
I'll put it like this. I have a Seeker. I have a Seeker. I do just for the love of the game here, but it's absolutely chronically off. It's not charged and I never use it whatsoever. But I will say for OPSEC reasons, there was a point in time where I'm I would like to just keep any crypto I'm using on my phone just on the Seeker. That way it's completely disconnected, new email, new everything, and keep it separate again for OPSEC reasons and safety reasons. But dude, realistically, again, just like you guys had that conversation earlier, people are always going to use Google Chrome and Google just because it's it feels safe, it feels natural. People are always going to use Android or Apple, and it's to go to the seeker, it feels like it's a bit of a stretch. So I don't
It's
disagree.
the marketing. I think it's more marketing than anything for you.
Yeah.
But so does that mean that you'll have like a mobile app? So are you like, this is desktop only, or do you have a mobile?
Yeah, right. Right now it's desktop, so it's on Windows, Mac, and
Yeah.
Linux. And I mean, the only person who's building all this stuff is me from the dev perspective. I have a lot of connections who kind of come and go. While I built this, like I've made so many connections. You guys are one of them now, but like I've just connected with so many people, developers, and we have business people who I can reach out to for VC and stuff like that. But the issue with the mobile app is that you were asking about the mobile, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just like, can I build it? Yes. Like first, a couple of things like that are obstacles. Number one is when you launch a web browser, you have to have an organization account. Okay, that's fine. We already have a DUNS number. We have an official organization. Like that's not too hard. But like you're releasing a direct competitor to Chrome or Safari, so Apple and Google automatically have some aversion to that. And then there's also the fact that I would like to launch it with a wallet, so you get awesome functionality like this. Like this is desktop where you get Mac, Windows, and Linux. For any Linux users, Lens is actually available on Linux. However, there's a lot of pushback towards crypto, even with this nice regulatory environment. I think there's a lot of times where the App Store is very strict. And if you guys know Apple, man, as someone who's worked with Apple for 5 years, they are absolutely brutal when it comes to approving apps. So that's
Especially
my hesitation.
with tokens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's probably another thing, right? Like if they research it and see it's connected to a token, I don't really know. I think it's more so that like, hey, this is connected to this financial stuff. So I think the fact that Lens is non-custodial and the application I'd be shipping would be non-custodial, I think that helps. If you're custodial, you have different regulations. Go ahead.
There was even like 2 months ago, Android put out this weird like notice that they were removing all crypto products that didn't have some sort of license, and they didn't clarify that self-custodial products didn't count, and it was just like things like BlockFi and like things that were like custodial. But yeah, like that kind of overnight change can be very disruptive. And they have a lot of control. I don't blame you for doing it, but on Phantom to use DeFi, like let's say you're doing an on-chain swap on the Phantom wallet. I mean, there's a browser in Phantom to use that you can connect to a website, or you can just kind of suck it up the fee and just use the Phantom wallet itself. But I don't know, it's kind of clunky. And if you have a Ledger device, like, clunky. So I don't even know how you do it with Ledger on your mobile device. I don't think I've ever signed a transaction like that. It's clunky.
I've been sucking it up and paying the Phantom fee forever.
Yeah.
Lens doesn't use it. Lens uses, well, we all use Jupiter, and then we obviously route to the right pool. So we all use the same thing, obviously, because you're transacting the same liquidity pool. But the point is I've been getting charged a Phantom fee. I'm like, bro, the moment Phantom releases a token and there's an airdrop, I am going to literally retire my entire bloodline because I have swapped. Before I built Lens, I just use Phantom so much. I mean, the mobile app is nice, but I think for Lens, again, contingent on our continued growth and success, which is a big if, but things have been going well for 7 months. If we're able to keep growing, I think the mobile apps, like the way it would work is just similar to seeing what you're seeing here. Like you go and we're able to ship the wallet inside of the app itself. It's a non-custodial experience, and it is great. And you get things like, let me just show this one other feature real quick. So if we go and we search and we type in Lens, you can already see it. Here's a good example. So this is another cool thing. Like we have detected that there's a contract address here. I have no idea what this is. You can buy, you can click chart, you can click analyze. Like how cool is that? That's another thing that I simply have not seen exist. I'm not going to buy this because I don't know what the heck this is, but I can start getting an idea of what it is. I click analyze. By the way, I just released something called Vision, which is an analytics tool. People got really mad at me. That's a story for another day because I launched another token, but really in actuality, it's a completely different product than Lens. I'm trying to build an analytics platform. It's going to be built into Lens soon. But like this actually looks pretty good. Like whatever this token is, this is not an endorsement of this token. But
wait, can I ask real quick, what happened with the other token? Is that still like operational?
Yeah, Vision is fantastic. I launched it like a couple of days ago. It's a free analytics platform that basically it's the most simple thing ever. I can demo in a second, but you just put in a contract address. It tells you the most important thing from a token, who's holding it. Okay, and it's going to give the most amazing analysts. But right now, it basically literally does this very deep blockchain operation where it scans every single holder, and then it scans those holders' holdings, so you get a list of the top 100 common holdings among all wallets. It's an
Mhm.
incredible tool. Most people have to pay for this data, and we're giving it away for free. But the point is, it'll be eventually be in here. This token looks amazing though from these analytics. Like these are passing all the checks. This is again not an endorsement. Bubble Maps is something we just brought on, but like you can literally look at a token and you can analyze it just by clicking a button. And
That's amazing. I'm using this, by the way. I'm gonna go get Lens after this. This is phenomenal.
I'm so happy you said that. That means a lot. I'm genuinely like, that means a lot. Like, if you think this is cool, I've been trying to, you know, I think marketing is the one area we've struggled. We have a lot of like diehard token holders. We also have, you know, a good amount of users. We've onboarded thousands of users. Retention, again, candidly, is where I think the business struggles. I think that's where a lot of businesses struggle. But I think marketing, we haven't spent $1 on ads. And I have people, but I've been just you know, building feverishly. So
Who's
I really
your
appreciate it though. It means a lot.
I guess my next question, and maybe we'll get more into this later, because it looks like lots of your functionality is crypto centric. Who's your
Totally.
target audience here?
Yeah, it is crypto centric. So you guys are my target audience. People who like are familiar with Solana and people who like need a web browser that's safer and that's more you know, fast, charges less fees, I guess. And like that can just you can just be casually like you can just be casually browsing the internet and you can just all of a sudden buy a token if you see a CA. You know, like that's pretty unique. And like I think you can also click the copy, whatever this pulls up this, you can add it to your watch list. Lens has a built-in watch list. So you can see, you know, and that happened, you know,
Crazy.
instantly. And you go back into your Lens watch list and all of a sudden whatever we just added shows up. This might be actually a cook, actually, low key. This passed some checks, but you know, you have
Let's
a full
let's
watch
look at
list
the
for
watch list real quick. Let's see. I see we got Pay AI, we got Lens, we got let's see Dupe on
Troll.
there, Nude, Kled. We got
This
some
is
good
my
ones.
watches, yeah. Yeah, these are some people, you know, Lens watches is pretty cool. Like you can add various categories, which is nice, and then you can filter. No, this is backups. Uh, you also have alerts, but you can basically filter by various categories that you put the tokens in. But yeah, this is another feature of Lens. Like you can send an alert. Lens can talk to you, so it can email you. So like, when's the price is greater than this? Let's say, oh, I've already created 10 alerts. Oh, dang. So I already have 10 alerts. But if I had less than 10 alerts, basically, when you know certain things happen, Lens can email you and do various things. So I'm gonna delete some of my alerts. But this is nice. We also have an agent, so you can talk to Lens, which is also free. Like, give me some information here, Kyrian. So you go into Kyrian and you say, can I have some info on this token? And this agent is going to become a lot more powerful, but this is just an AI feature. So it uses plain English. You just say, hey, can I have some info? You can add it to your watches. You can create alerts. You can have it email you. So this is something that I think is fun to build around because this is basically, I don't know, it's big in the AI meta, and like English is a very common, or whatever language you're using is a common way to interact. People, you know, press a lot of buttons like to do stuff, but like this is to be able to just speak in plain English to someone is something I think that people undervalue sometimes. Because like for us, like crypto is like whatever, like we already know how to connect to a wallet, we know how to approve transactions, we know how to do these things. But when you speak in plain English and you say and you get some, you know, analytics, or you say, hey, I want you to buy this token, which that's also being worked on.
I
You
was gonna
actually
ask.
can onboard a lot of normies from that, right? Like, because it's just English or
Can you
Chinese.
tell it to like buy this token at the next time it hits a support level or something like
Absolutely,
that? Like,
absolutely,
oh, pfft.
absolutely. And we are, but not yet. But like we have the infra for that. So
Yeah.
we built a mobile experience called lensmobile.app. That like we don't have to demo today, but it's the custodial version. So we manage all the keys, but we have market orders already. The one bad thing about our market orders, but like I've actually heard this is a pain point for a lot of people, is they only pull prices every 10 minutes. So it's only really good for like higher market cap, like over 500K a
Yeah.
million stuff where you go to sleep and you're like, okay, 10-minute polling, like I'll get a price and then it'll execute. But anyway, that's Curian. But yeah, in the future, we're working on that. We already have all the endpoints, meaning like the backend's already set up for that on the cloud offering. But keep in mind, because Lens is non-custodial, you won't be able to do that. Like the most important part of the wallet, I think for a lot of people, this is why it's safe, is these are your private keys. These are not ours. So if you delete a wallet in Lens or Lens gets destroyed or your computer gets destroyed, you're cooked, which is why you have to back up your wallet. You export keys. We give, the absolute, I'm not even gonna press it because it's even scary pressing it, but we get the absolute most secure ways you can export keys. You can basically, let me just do it on one wallet just in case. You can encrypt a file where you set your own encryption password. And this is a really awesome feature. Basically, you'll never have to have the private keys touch your clipboard, which is another big attack vector in crypto is like clipboard reading, which Lens does not allow. But basically, like if you want to manage your wallet, you could turn off all the Wi-Fi, you could encrypt a file, you could download it, and then we have our own decryptor. I could kind of walk you guys through that if you want to see it. It's not, I mean, it's just another, for the really like security conscious among us, it's just a way where you can basically create encrypted backup. And I did this fun thing where I was like, I gave away the encryption key, or not the encryption key, but I gave away the encryption blurb. And I was like, all right, here's the key. And it had a private key with $1,000 in it. And I said, anyone who can get in here and find out the key, you can have $1,000 from the wallet. And no one did because it uses very powerful encryption. But I feel like I just went on a tangent there. But yeah, this is the inside of the wallet. This is what powers Lens. And basically, this is where the private keys are stored again in the operating system level keychain. So it's a very secure experience. And if you want to, the first thing you should ever do when you create a wallet, back up your private keys. And if you want to use a secure method, go ahead. If you want to just keep the internet off and save them in plain text, do that. So like if you did lose Lens or someone stole your computer or it just crashed, your private keys are the wallet's gone. So you have to back up your private keys. But that's the same for any.
Where do you put a backup? Like if someone's using, let's say, OnePass or like LastPass or something like that, can they store it in there as a Chrome extension, or do you say no? Like
here's what I would recommend doing. All right, if you're really gonna back up your private keys, this is my recommendation. You go to your game wallet, you export wallet, you encrypt the file, and you create a password. This you can generate or you can create your own one. Awesome, folks. 99. It makes you do like various things to make the password stronger. Okay, and then this is your password for your wallet now. Okay, you create an export, and then you download both these files, and then basically now you have, as long as you saved your password, you have your, like I could share these with your entire audience. Because they know my password, they would instantly get my private key. But if you take your password and you don't, share it, then that's how you can back up your Lens wallet or any wallet in the most secure way. And then I'll show you the decryptor just in case you're interested. Hopefully this doesn't.
So wait, I want to actually sit on this screen for a second too. So this is your general screen. If I wanted to pull up the Lens browser, it would just be, I would have to download it and then I could just open it up and I could take over and do anything from inside Lens. Is that correct?
Yeah, you're good to go. You just go to getlensnow.com and you're good. You're 100% good to go. You just download from Mac, Windows, Linux. Another thing we have to fix, it's not terrible, but you just create a key here. You go to your My Account, you generate a token, which is how you log into Lens. And then you're off to the races. You're in Lens. You can just download it that easily. Cool. So you just go to getlensnow.com. You can download from Mac. We also have Intel versions for the OG Mac users. But this decryptor, as you can see, you just basically choose the file, and then you go to your downloads. This is where it gets sketchy. I don't want to show too much random shit on my computer, but we created a JSON file. You would enter the password I just entered. I'm not going to enter it, obviously, but then like it would show your private key. So if for those people who are very security conscious, never want Lens to touch or want the clipboard to be touched, which is smart, you can basically create a encrypted blob and save it. So that's the most secure process. And then last thing, just on safety, because I know I just go on and talk about safety, but Lens actually, we couldn't even have this conversation in Lens because it denies camera and video and audio, but we will probably enable that in the future. But we are automatically declining the most harmful website permissions that exist. So you can never have a website read your clipboard. That's just strictly denied in Lens. So that's just something secure. Like, I'm not saying like a lot of people don't paste their private keys in their clipboard. Some people do. I used to all the time. I still do sometimes. But it's nice knowing that, unlike in Chrome, where websites, if you give them permission, can read your clipboard, we never allow that. And we've denied like a bunch of other legacy JavaScript permissions and modern JavaScript permissions. So it's just safe. Like, I don't know, this is just a safe and fast experience to interact with.
Yeah, this is great. So for our case specifically, because Dom and I are live streamers, like we would use Chrome for our day-to-day business live streaming stuff. And then we should have an instance of Lens on the side that we use just for crypto stuff.
Yeah.
The downside of that is we obviously can't share that screen, or can you share the window? Well, I guess you're sharing the window now, so that works.
I may turn that on. I'm showing from Chrome. Chrome is great. I love Chrome. And I think another reason people use Chrome is not just because they're around so long. I mean, the product is pretty freaking nice. Everyone says, oh, Google doesn't know how to do product. No, okay, fine. If they don't know how to do products, then why are some people using the products? Like, they're nice. But yeah, I think we can turn on sharing for camera and audio. Those are a little bit like more like, they're just like a little bit, I don't know. They're not as dangerous. They're still a little bit dangerous. Like if you verbalize your private key or someone listens, but yeah, I could turn that on. So we could make Lens more streaming friendly, so you could stream from it. I think I will do that. But like, just one last thing on the visuals, and then I don't know, I've demoed kind of a fair amount of it. But you can press the L key to hide this little URL, and then you can press the H key that hides the header. And now you get this absolutely beautiful full screen experience where you can see all these indicators right next to each other, and you can scroll at the same time. This is really why I built Lens. It wasn't even to build a wallet. I mean, that's nice, and now I've discovered something new, but I just wanted to see a bunch of data. I check the same websites over and over and over again every single day because I'm just curious, what we have going on. Was that totally? That's fine.
Yeah, there he is.
My LinkedIn. Yeah, like it's just really nice. Like you can basically,
maybe not your email.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine. I don't have anything to hide. But the point is like just a really nice way of looking at the internet. And like, yeah, it's just, that's really, I think, the reason in terms of like why I built it. Like that's a big reason why I built that.
So tell me this. I'm looking at my curve monitor here. I have a big 49, 50 something inch curve monitor here. And on my left side, I have one Discord chat. My right side, I have a Telegram. My middle, I have my TradingView, Dex Screener, Twitter, Axiom. My right, I have another, like a wallet tracker. And then my right past that is another Discord. Instead of putting these all in separate tabs and pulling them up on my screen and adjusting them to fit, how could I do that through Lens, or is that what you guys are basically offering to like as well with what you're showcasing now?
Yeah, you can offer, like, you can add anything you want, right? So you can create a bunch of columns if you wanted to, and you can, make them anything you want. So you create columns, and then you can create rows, and you can just have them be anything you want, like AI news. I don't know. But you could do, again, there's pretty limitless in terms of like what we offer here. Like you can just go on and you can create various layouts. And if like the thing is like if you have a huge monitor, this scales pretty well. Like it basically, you could create any layout you want. And then you save it by pressing this push button. You get cloud backups, and then if you open up Lens and you're logged into your account, you can go ahead and you can it'll be synced across devices. So yeah, long story short, like it's just a nice way of viewing the internet, and you can have all these open every day, and then every time you can come back to them, and you can basically view like what you had saved. And that's what I do. Like that's a lot. That's why I use it a lot, because I check some of the same websites, as I said, day in and day out. And basically, yeah, this is just a way for you to kind of do that.
And at the top there, are you going through your different layouts you have?
This is just how you add layouts. So like, oh yeah, this is
like
these
1,
are
2, 3.
collections. So basically, you can use the arrow keys, and then when we go up to different floor, this is how you select floors. So this is the navigation system. You have this, which is just an entire workspace, and then you have these, which are basically your collections, which are collections of web views, and then you have floor. So inside the blue workspace, here's another floor. and then you go and you click into these various, these various predefined views that you kind of set up. So it's really good when you like look at the same things over and over every single day. It's really good for that, kind of just going back and scrolling into these things that you view every day, and you just get such a nice experience. Like another feature we have too, which I kind of want to show off. I probably shouldn't have shown my emails, but it's all good. But basically, if you go into these, Chrome, like you have to do different profiles. You can log in, as you saw inside this floor. You can log into various, on X. You can log into various accounts all in the same window. So how cool is this? If you're a social media manager, I have the Vision, Lens, and then my personal account. They're logged in on something called a partition. So
this is like, I hate being logged into the MCG account and my personal, and then it flips between. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
So this is actually, and how cool is this? We see this also, this coin just pop up. How like normally when you're browsing X, you don't get the ability to like buy a coin in one click. So like you could just be scrolling and it could just endlessly parse, these contract addresses. This might be a scam if we fail to get a quote. But the point is like, you can create these different partitions. These are also backed to the cloud. So again, you have multi-account access, which is nice.
This is all super cool stuff. My question to you would be like, how do you scale this? How do you get this in people's hands, distribution?
Yeah, I think you're striking on something that again, like is a big issue we're facing, which is like, how do I get people to actually, use this on a huge level, and then basically, scale it to be a dominant player? I think number one, shows like this are helping. So thank you for having me on, because I think once people realize that they can get a browser experience that's not only safer, but more integrated and like even faster, where you can buy in less than a second from a click of a button on websites or even like browsing the internet, it's going to help. But I don't know. I don't think there is no one size fits all magic pill. I think there's a lot of stuff I have to do with advertisements, with just recording videos. But like, again, this like helps. You guys are, basically showing it to an audience and people can see. So I think that helps. I think it's just
we had
a long road ahead.
800 people so far hit this live. So
nice.
I'll give you my point of view on this. So one thing we've really been working hard on is just obviously everything is clipping. This is like the modern day what Threads were like a year or two ago. Today it's clipping. And so what we do is get accounts that have distribution. So maybe they've already clipped in the past and they have like a following and people just follow them to get those video clips. People obviously want money for distribution. So, but it's not like crazy expensive. A few $100s, you can actually get, probably like a couple 100,000 views, maybe 300,000 views. And it's, at least it seems organic, but again, there's always an asterisk with everything on the internet. What I wouldn't do is I wouldn't spend paid ads. Paid ads are pretty much, that's a bagel in my opinion, but, we'll clip this up. We have a community that's pretty organic with that, but this is the way to do it. Keep doing like demos like this, and then
I would be, Anthony, interested, not to cut you out, Josh. Like I think your thought was generally finished. Also, like you have all these products. Have you ever considered releasing one or two of them on just normal Google Chrome or Google browser to funnel people back to Lens? I know it's like against what you're doing, right? Because you're building a browser that's safe, secure, but also how do you funnel back if no one's tried out the product, right?
Oh, you're saying like actually build like a Chrome extension or something for Lens Wallet, or?
Yeah, I mean, like, even bringing this to Chrome and then the users that test it out, use it on Google, get the experience, they're like, wow, I could take this another step further and have it on my own browser and use this a little deeper, more secure, have different functionality features, maybe as like a funnel mechanism, or even on top of that, like you have a couple of cool products, like for example, the one that arbitrates wallets and people that are buying certain tokens, and then you can see certain info and statistics on that, even releasing a few of those to like general public and putting those on Chrome to get people kind of hooked on Lens functionality and then funnel them back down. Is that something you've considered? It's a long-winded question, but I can maybe rephrase if needed.
No, it's well, I think first of all, like I can't just bring this to Chrome, right? Because this is actually just an application. This is the same thing that Chrome is, like, right? Like this is a desktop application. So like when you download this, you're installing a program just like you install Chrome. So they're kind of on a level playing field. Is that kind of what you meant? Like, because the only way I could port this to Chrome is like basically build a website and then like have that website like have some of the functionality. But let's be clear, like this is a full on like application. This is not just a website or anything like that. So like that's what's like your private keys and everything, which are stored in the app in the operating system keychain. Like a normal website doesn't have access to the operating system keychain. So like you're getting an actual physical application, which is a lot, in my opinion, more secure than a website in general. So is that kind of does that answer your question? Like the only product I could build for Chrome really, I feel like is the Lens Mobile app, which is our wallet, which is custodial, which is a great wallet. I use it for everything. But like also I could build a custom Chrome extension, but I don't know. I think the main way is just like we're a direct competitor to Chrome. I'd probably like to keep it like that way.
Yeah. No. Okay. I totally understand. I was just wondering
Web
if there's a way.
developer Dom right there. Web developer Dom.
Yeah. See, this is totally out of my realm. Like I'm not even familiar with how this stuff works, but
no, it's all good, dude. It's all good. And I hope I answered that in like not a condescending way. It's just
no, it wasn't.
Programming is hard. Programming is hard, and it's like as a consumer, like you don't. Like a lot of the tech kind of blends together, which I totally get that. But this is signed by Windows and Mac. So like I've fingerprinted this. Apple has actually gone ahead and notarized it, meaning it's passed their inspection. So this application Lens, this is actually certified by Apple and Windows. Windows, I have gone through a separate process through code signing, but that's why when you install on Windows, you don't see any warnings. You just simply are able to download the application without any warnings. The same with Apple. You can't just make an application for Apple and be able to install anything on their operating system. So Lens is a code signed app that has been authorized for both platforms. So that should give you guys and any viewer who's watching this kind of just an extra bit of confidence in the sense of like, this isn't just some random program that a dude made, that is true. But like this actually went through a channel of like signatures, and it gets, every time I distribute a new version of Lens, it gets uploaded to Apple servers. They verify it, then I staple a notarization on it. So my name is permanently stamped. And by the way, yeah, make sure you download Lens or download any programs from the official website, because the code signing ensures that nothing has been tampered with. And that also helps in the sense of supply chain attacks. I don't know if you guys saw that thing where the guy like wrote something crazy with an NPM package. If I could just also speak on another safety aspect of Lens, I keep harping on safety, but we use almost no dependencies. Since we're talking about Web Dev DOM or whatever, you're talking about that, like a lot of them.
Web Dev DOM.
Love it.
Web Dev DOM. They install various NPM packages, which are basically, you can think of them as just like libraries that make production easier. They do a bunch of stuff for you. Lens only uses 3. One is the official Solana Web 3, which is endorsed by Solana. So if they got supply chain attack, that'd be a huge issue. Another one is Google. The other 2 are Google actually for Firebase and one other dependency. So basically we don't use libraries. That's another reason Lens is safe. That supply chain hack that happened, anyone who like makes a program and they use that node package, it's called NPM, whatever, it's just like a library, it's all JavaScript stuff you import into your program when you build it, blah, blah. But the point is like that supply chain got hacked. So any developers building with those packages would be attacked. We don't have packages. We have 3 packages. One's from Solana themselves. Okay. And if they got hacked, we have issues. And the other one's from Google. So that's just another small, I know I digress, but that's just another.
No, this is important. Like this is the number one reason maybe Dom was maybe hesitant to download it. I think that you've overcome a lot of maybe that skepticism. We only got a couple minutes left, and I really want to just touch on 2 things. So I saw somewhere someone mentioned like VC funding in terms of maybe like you growing and scaling this beyond like, a fair launch token and fee model. But like, how do you make like A, how do you make money? And B, like, are you thinking about outside funding to really kind of push this to the next level?
Well, if any VCs are watching this, I have some good news for you. Lens is already profitable, like in terms of the operating the server infrastructure. So if you know any VCs or any other people are potentially interested in what we're doing here with our model of how we're interacting with the blockchain, our safety, our programming, I want to tell you guys expressly, like the money we're making from the users we have in terms of simple transaction fees, not token sales, nothing like that, anything like that. But in terms of people just using the wallets, that is already covering our business expenses to operate the business. So we have a very low cost structure. We scale incredibly well in terms of cost. Our entire Google Cloud infrastructure is extremely manageable and is built in a way with like the more people that are onboarded, the more people use Lens. Even with our low transaction fees, that's already covering the cost of business. So Lens is currently profitable, but yeah.
So let's say you raise like, I don't know, like what do you think you need to raise to kind of take this?
I need
like,
$2 million if you know someone.
2 million.
Yeah.
What kind of valuation would you raise that at? I mean, this is a private conversation, probably.
No, it's fine. I don't care. I'm public. I'm an open book. Like I would raise that in today's market at 5 million, just because at a $5 million valuation. So I would give them, what is 40%. That? Like 40% of the business, right? Yeah. And that's fine for me, just as long as they don't have the majority. But what that unlocks is like we get a couple. Maybe I get a developer or two. I don't need many because if we live in the era of AI, and AI obviously speeds up development by like 10x if you're somewhat decent developing. So I need 1 to 2 developers max, mobile devs. That I need, the main people are like the designer, like a good someone who can make everything look pretty, and then the business development people. But like what you're getting is like, if it works out, you're getting a browser that has changed the way we interact with the blockchain. And I think that could be intensely lucrative for people if you're talking about risk and reward, but it's incredibly risky. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Lens in general is incredibly risky in the sense of like, you know, anything in crypto is risky. At least it has a real product that people can download that's code signed. It has actual users. It's profitable, but it's still a risky endeavor. But like, I don't know. I think some of the stuff that I showed you is new. I haven't seen a lot of browsers where you can just casually browse and then see a contract address where you can instantly buy the token, where you can analyze it, where you can do, you know, many of these functions. So like, I think raising money would help make Lens look a little bit better, and it would help hyperspeed the web, the mobile development.
All right, we're gonna try and help you out with that a little bit maybe, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, because we do know some people, and you know, I don't know.
I'm taking meetings, so
all right,
let me know.
Yeah, good. All right. Then the last thing is maybe just around the token itself, like how much of the token, you know, we ask kind of like all founders this, like how much of the token do you own? Like, do you own a certain percentage? Like, is there a percentage that you'd like to get to in terms of like owning the Lens ecosystem? And maybe it's like utility and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so right now both Lens and Vision, Lens they own 17%. It's everything's docs. Like I'm an open book. It's in a Streamflow wallet, like 0.025% or 0.25% unlocks per week. So there's this like 17% that I own of the token personally, and that's verifiable on chain. I'll give you my word. I have nothing outside of that holding, which is a publicly docs holding. So there's like $1,500 in the dev wallet right now. Then there's that 17%, which at one point was worth $2 million. But now it went down a little bit. That was kind of crazy to see, to become an on-paper millionaire for, you know, a couple of days.
UPNL millionaire. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's and the thing is, I've told the Lens holders like no tokens will be sold if the market cap's under 2 million. And that's true. Everything's, like I said, it's on chain. I don't want to sell tokens though, really. Like, you know, that's not, no one wants that. Like, you don't want to do that. So I think like in the future, and not many have been sold, right? So like a lot of this is self-funded. We have more runway to keep developing the product. I think VC though, like it gets us into this interesting space where like I can direct and help people, because I know how all the tech and our stuff works. And because I'm so entrenched now in terms of like our backend with Helios, like I can do anything on Solana when you're talking about wallet transactions or basic stuff. So like if I can just direct a couple developers and one maybe business person and say, hey, like we're going to build a kick-ass browser for Google and for Apple. And then look, like $2 million gets you a lot. Like I'll still write most of the code. I'll still oversee most of the code. I'll get like 1 or 2 crack devs, probably just one. That's all you need. You need one crack dev. At like $200K a year, they're kind of expensive. Sorry, they're still kind of expensive. 200, maybe 250K a year, and give them a small chunk of the business. But that person can handle the entire mobile app, and under my direction, if they're cracked, which we'll find someone who's cracked, you know, can do great things. So
cool. Well, let's.
I Gotta
Yeah,
touch
go
one more
for it.
time real quick on the
But
token.
we got to wrap
token-
too as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need this question for the people.
Go for it.
Token functionality. Like, is there a burn mechanism? How do you use the token in app? How is it like value accrual?
Yeah, that happens. It's deflationary. So right now, half of the transaction fees that we collect go to buying and burning tokens. It happens automatically, and you can check for yourself on our getlensnow.com/tokenomics or burn lens now route or whatever. So it happens at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Half the transaction fees from the wallet that we connect are burned, and then also I launched this other project called Vision. A portion of that protocol revenue flows into Lens. It's Vision is in a lot of ways an extension of Lens, just in a separate domain. So yeah, but the main functionality is, and the way it's tied to the business is, half the fees collected from the wallet automatically go to buy and burn the token. So more Lens users, more business success. That's how we connect it to the tokenomics. We can't say a share of Lens is equal to a share of the company yet, but we can say, hey, look, if we have more users, we have more people transacting, we collect more fees, 100% that's going to increase the price, assuming that no one buys and sells. It will make the token go higher.
So it is directly tied to growth. Anthony, thanks for coming on. That was cool stuff. Really cool demo on the platform. I think
This
a lot
is
of
a
people
great product. We'll help get it clicked up as well. Sorry, Dom. I was amped up.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you guys. Anytime you want to do another one, or if you want to, get my phone number, connect on DMs, whatever, just all good.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you guys taking the time.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I'll throw you in a group chat on Telegram. Take it easy. Peace.
Thanks, y'all. Take care.